Welcome back to another video, and I am very happy to announce this is episode 1 of the Squid Game tutorial series. This has took me so long to record, edit, and learn how to do, so I appreciate you watching. In this one, what we're going to be doing is basically starting the project, and we're going to go from a default BP third-person character, like the third-person template, into a fully working, animated, controllable MetaHuman, and it's going to look pretty sick. So let's get started. Right, okay, sweet. So let's create a new project, and we're going to rename this Squid Game Series UE5. Just like that. And before we click create, we're actually going to change this from a blank project into a third person, like the third person template. So let's just click this and disable the starter content. And the reason we're doing this is because I want me and whoever's following to start from a fresh, clean slate, so it's easy to follow. Right, so next let's go to edit and go to plugins, and we're going to search for the MetaHuman plugin, which is MetaHuman space SDK. And make sure you have this enabled. It should be enabled if you're on the later versions of Unreal, but if you're not, just enable it, and it'll make sure that everything works correctly. Right, so the next thing we need to do is go to edit, and we're going to look for, no, not edit, we're going to go to window, search for Quixel Bridge, and we're going to click it, and we're going to click stay here, and it should prompt us to log in. If you have an account, then just log in. If you don't, just create one. I usually just log in with my Google account. And we're going to look for this little profile icon on the left hand side. So the home, the world, and then it's this little profile thing. Yeah, just like that. And it'll come up with MetaHuman presets. Obviously we don't have any presets, so let's click My MetaHumans. And as you can see, these are the two that I created last time when I did my Manny to MetaHuman tutorial. If you haven't seen that, go and see it. It's pretty sick. And what we basically have is one undressed character and one dressed character. So if we go into the Start MetaHuman and launch this, this is metahuman.unrealengine.com. We can actually create a MetaHuman. And like I said, the best way to do this is to actually have one clothed and one undressed. And this is so that later on we can actually change out all the clothing. Because we actually need the skin, like we need the chest, the legs and the feet. If you want to create one from fresh, you can just click create and use one of these default templates and build on top of it. You just basically click select and then click create selected, and you can just change it whenever, however you want really. It's personal preference this bit, so I'm probably not going to show you how to do it, because obviously you want your character to look like however you want them to look for your game. So this bit's personal preference, but you can see they look pretty sick, to be honest. But like I said, I already have two created, so I'm just going to use them. And here we are. The only thing I need to do is show you that when you create a undressed version of this model, we actually want to change the feet, and that's because we actually get the skin for obviously the chest, the arms, legs, whatever, yeah. But the feet, I currently have slippers on now, or pumps. If we click edit, in the actual engine, this will not give us feet. We actually need to change these to flip-flops, and this will actually give us some feet when we actually put this character into the engine. So hopefully that made sense. This is just so that we can swap out the clothes later, because we don't want to be swapping out all the clothes and be stuck with them ugly trainers. Right, so once that's done, we now have two MetaHumans, one dressed, one undressed. Like I said, this is completely optional, but we'll be doing this later on in the tutorial series, so it's up to you. I'm going to go back to Unreal now, so we can just X out of this. This will be automatically saved, and just click leave. And now we need to do this, so we can click here to download, and we can also change the resolution or the quality of our characters. So we'll click download, and this honestly takes so long, so you might want to go grab a drink or something. I've skipped ahead here, but yeah, once that's done, click add, and you'll have a new folder in your project, and it'll be called MetaHuman. And what this will do when you open it up is it'll ask you to enable all the missing plugins. So what we're going to do is just enable all these missing plugins. Enable, enable. And we're just going to dock this tab like this and restart the editor. This is just so that all the plugins are working and nothing messes up, basically. Okay, sweet. So the editor's back open now, and I'm just going to click yes to reopen this last tab that was opened. Sweet. So now we have our MetaHuman blueprint that's docked as a new tab, and as you can see, it looks pretty sick. And this is only medium quality. You can actually go high, or I believe you can go like extra high, like ray traced or whatever. But for now, we're just going to use medium. The only downside is that when we drag this in, you can see that the textures on the eyebrows and some of the textures are messed up anyway. But don't worry about that, because this is just like a base model thing. We're not really going to be using this character later on, so it doesn't really matter at this point. But it still looks pretty sick, and it'll give us something to work off. Right, okay, so what we need to do now is reparent our MetaHuman to our BP third person character. And the way we do this is we need to open up both blueprints, so we need to have them basically side by side. So let's open up our content browser by clicking Control plus space. We're going to open up our MetaHuman. For me, it's this one, and we're going to go into the third person character, BP third person character, and open that up just like this. And this is basically the reason I started with a third person template and started it from scratch, so that it's easy to follow. And we'll be basically at the same point by now. So what we need to be doing is go to the BP MetaHuman. I don't actually know how to pronounce that name. I can't remember how I did it. So I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to butcher it. And then we need to go to class settings at the top. So click class settings. And parent class, we're going to change this from actor to BP third person character. Just like that. And let's click compile, and if we just have a little look around here, yep, that's right. Now what we need to do is change some of the order of this. So as you can see, now we've reparented, we now have a floating MetaHuman above our BP third person character. So let's get the body of our MetaHuman and drag it onto the mesh of our BP third person character, like that. And this will just reparent it, so we're reparenting to that, and then we're just going to delete the root just like this. That's looking good. So the MetaHuman body is now reparented to the mesh of the BP third person character. File, we should get an error, and let's just do this, save and compile. Right, okay, so we've got an error, and at the bottom and compiler results it says this blueprint is not a scene component, therefore target must have a connection. If we click target, and as you can see, the target has no connection, so we're just going to drag out from mesh, drag it into here, connect it up to target, click compile, and then that error will be resolved, and we are good to go again. So click compile. As you can see, the MetaHuman snaps back in, and as you can see as well, the positioning is completely wrong. So not mesh, we want to click body, and we're just going to zero out these two values like that, and it'll snap generally into place. Obviously we haven't got the animations, but don't worry about that, we'll be sorting that very shortly. In fact, actually, that's the next thing I'm going to sort. So we have a general direction that the player is facing. Now we want the animations. So if we go into the left hand side, and we're going to look for the variables tab, and we're going to go to live retarget, click the drop down, use live retarget mode, click that, and then click use live retarget mode. So just enable that, and now we'll be using all the animations from the BP third person character. So that's looking pretty good. Now let's click compile. The next thing we need to do is, oh wait, as you can see, yeah, so we now have the breathing animations, so that's looking good. Yeah, next what we want to do is you do the live retarget setup. So on the left hand side where it says functions, let's click not live link, live retarget setup, double click that, and we're going to zoom into this little bit here where it says retarget anim class, and we're going to click this once and click the little folder icon, and this will open up our all content, MetaHumans, common, animations, and retargeting. We don't actually need to open up that. We want to open up the RTG MetaHuman, this one, the IK retargeter. In fact, let's just duplicate it. So right click, duplicate, like that. I'm going to rename it something that we can recognize. So IKR, IK retargeter, underscore, Manny to MH. I'm going to rename it. So Manny to MetaHuman. Sweet. Now we can actually open that up. So this is going to be retargeting all the animations and stuff. Sorry, all the bones from the BP third-person character skeleton into our MetaHuman skeleton. So what we're going to be doing is going back to the IK retargeter that we just created, and we need to change a couple of things on here. So firstly, the source IK rig needs to be IK mannequin, like this, and then the preview mesh. Which one do we want the preview to be? I think if we go back into the MetaHuman, we can actually search which one this is. So let's just click save for now. And go back to our BP for the MetaHuman. Is it here? 1 minute, I'm just having a brain fart at the moment. Alright, let's actually just click body and find this and click the folder. So it's M underscore medium underweight body. With that selected and highlighted, we can actually go back to here and click this little arrow here. And this will give us that asset. And as you can see, our skeleton is kind of snapping to the same skeleton as the BP third person character. Sweet. Right, okay, I've just realized that it needs to be the preview version, so it's the one without the skin, so it's medium, M, medium, underweight, body preview, my bad. Next, we're going to click on the root, and we're going to change the translation mode to globally scaled, just like this. That's looking pretty good. But I kind of just want to change these bones a little bit more. So what we can actually do, this is a new feature in Unreal and it's absolutely amazing. We can just go to target and we need to click the 3 dots. Where's the 3 dots? There they are. Run, no, edit retarget pose and then click auto align all bones, and this will put them like basically perfect. Like honestly, you had to do this manually like a couple of versions ago, so this is an absolute lifesaver. Right, okay, so what we need to do now is we need to change the IK retargeter in the animation blueprint. So we're going to go and have a little look around for this. Kind of forgot which folder it is in, so let's click body, the folder icon, and we're going to look for the MetaHumans folder. If I just click here, and then let's just go back one actually to MetaHumans, and then search for ABP, it'll come up with like the animation blueprint for our character. Here we go. The one with like the whole body. Let's double click this. And then from here, we need to go into the actual anim graph. Okay, so let's just, on the left hand side, double click anim graph, like that. Highlight this. And then let's change the IK retargeter asset. And it's the one that we created earlier, the Manny to MetaHuman. Or Manny to MH, this one. That'll make sure that we're actually using the correct IK retargeter. This is looking a little bit better. Almost perfect now. And we're pretty much almost done. There's a couple more things we need to do. Obviously, we need to get rid of this horrible mannequin that's just like overlapping our character. So let's go into body first. We're going to change the animation blueprint of our MetaHuman to ABP MetaHuman. Compile. And let's change this horrible mesh. I'm just trying to size this up to see if everything's looking good enough. So let's click mesh, and in the search bar on the right hand side, we're going to type visible and deselect visible, and we're going to check always tick pose and refresh bones like this. So this is looking pretty good. And now we have our MetaHuman, which is fully animated, and we didn't actually even have to go into the anim graph of our MetaHuman at all or create like an animation blueprint, because we're just retargeting everything from the BP third person character. Like later on in the series, what we're going to do, we're actually going to give custom animations to all this. So like we get like a crouch walk or like creeping walk when we do the red light green light game, and some stop animations, so we have to stop a little bit earlier than when the doll's head turns in case we get caught. It's going to be pretty sick. Now if we go into the BP third person character, into the event graph, we're going to highlight everything, copy it, and then go into our MetaHuman event graph like this, find some open space, and we're going to Control and V to paste it, and let's just zoom in and move these. Select, like that. And now when we click compile, we'll have all the movement inputs from the BP third person character. So the character will be able to move with control from your mouse and keyboard. Lovely stuff. Let me just delete these two because it just looks messy, and move this down like that. Let's click compile once again. And I want to show you what happens when we just click play, because right now it won't work. And if we go to the third person folder, we're going to go into the blueprints folder and BP third person game mode. So let's double click this and let's just dock this for now. Right, let's click play, and it'll still give us our old BP third person character. And as you can see, absolutely nothing's changed. Right, as you can see, the IK is still working, but nothing is changed. And that is because in the game mode, we actually never selected our MetaHuman. So let's go to here, default pawn class, and change it to our MetaHuman. And if we go compile, save, exit out of that, third person map, and click play, look how cool this is. We actually have our MetaHuman fully playable. We can jump, we can run, and the foot IK is working as well. Look how sick that looks. You can also change it from the world settings on the right hand side here as well. So we can actually just click game mode or game mode override and change the game mode here if you wanted to. Later we will be creating our own game mode, because we're going to have like a red light, green light and whatever, etc. So if we change this back to BP third person character and click play, as you can see, we're now the other character. But let's change it to our BP MetaHuman one. And that is looking so sick. Like, I'm really happy with this tutorial series, and I have already created this project, like, and it's so in depth, and it's actually really fun to play as well. I think in the next episode, what I'm gonna do is set up the content browsers, like all the folders, materials, and stuff like that, and then we're gonna get onto like the map design and stuff. It's gonna be pretty sick. So do me a favor, this has took me so long. Leave a like and subscribe for the next videos. I'll catch you later. Peace.